Okay, not quite yet, but by the time the video comes out, I will be graduated. Hey guys, welcome to or back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Julia, and like I just said, I just graduated from high school, and I was like thinking back on my time here, and I'm thinking, hey, what have I learned? I feel like I am a completely different person now than I was freshman year. I'm thinking about like everything that I'm doing now, like my YouTube channel. Little freshman me never would have had the courage to do a YouTube channel. And like all the great friendships I have, all the plans that are up ahead, I just feel like God has aligned everything so perfectly, and I've learned so much on the way. So for today's video, I wanted to talk about what I wish I knew when I first started high school. And I know little freshman me really would have appreciated this advice, so if you're going into high school or if you know somebody going into high school, feel free to share this with them. I really just want to put this out here to help people that are getting into it, because it can just take over your entire life. And I want to help you realize that high school is not everything. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. I know you hear it all the time, but it really helps support creators out here, and then you get to join our little family. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, if you see me looking down, I have my notes on my phone. Some of these are academic tips, some of them are social tips. The first one is to stop competing with people. So by this, I also mean to stop comparing yourself with other people. When you have this mindset of being better or worse than everyone, and we all do it, like you don't even think about it, it just shows through the way you act. You'll subtly slip in little moments of acting cool or kind of bragging or whatever. Like for me, when I first left, I left a private Christian school, and it was a big deal to me to make sure those people knew that I feel like I made the right choice. I just wanted to impress them in some way, and ultimately it was about feeling better than them, and I don't like that. Now it's just so obvious to me when somebody is acting fake and trying to impress people, and it just makes me really sad, honestly. When you act fake, it shows. I know it's a lot easier to say than to do, but when you're being completely genuine and you're not trying to win, people are more attracted to you, and that's how you form real relationships. The next one is don't overthink your insecurities. Now, I'm not telling you not to have insecurities, because then I would be a total hypocrite. I think everybody is insecure about something, but just think about it. Do you judge other people based on their follower count, based on their shoes, their clothes, having a slightly different backpack than everybody else? Like, no. Most people are so worried about themselves, they don't even notice what you're worried about. I used to obsess over having the exact same look as everybody else, but honestly, that is so boring. Once I found my personal style, I felt so much more confident, and I honestly got way more compliments on my outfits. Even though that wasn't my goal, I was just dressing the way I felt comfortable. Plus, this is a little side note that I literally just thought of. If you don't dress and act like yourself, people won't give you gifts that you like. This beautiful necklace was a graduation gift from my mentor. It's called the Swell necklace, and it's like a little ocean wave, and she got it for me because she knows I love the beach. If I had just hidden that and had the same style as everybody else, she never would have known. Just saying. Okay, this third tip is really important, and this is the biggest thing that's helped me through high school, is have a life outside of school. This is exactly how not to peak in high school. Opening up your world to the people outside of your school is so important, because whether you know it or not, each high school has its own culture, and it's so easy to just get sucked into it. Like the high schools in my area are all so different, even if they're super close to each other. Plus, you cannot rely on your school always being there. I've had 3 schools shut down on me, so just saying. Definitely go make friends at other schools. For me, it's been through soccer teams, through youth group, and then I make friends with their friends, and it's just so nice to have those connections. This next one is related to that. It's take care of yourself. And I say that it's related because taking care of yourself takes intentionality. For me, my morning workouts help me function and actually stay awake during the school day, but I have to wake up at 5 to get them done. But that's my me time outside of school. And fueling my body properly also takes a lot of effort, because at school it's so easy to just get in this focus mode and like forget about food. So I always have breakfast, and I try to always have lunch, even if I'm not hungry at school, because if I don't, I'll come home from school starving, spend all day snacking instead of actually getting my work done. Also, drinking water. I know you've heard it a million trillion times, but we're getting into summer, so it's even more important. I can definitely tell when I'm dehydrated. I am dehydrated right now. Actually, speaking of, I literally was gonna drink this while I filmed and I forgot. Also, I'm gonna be a total hypocrite and tell you to prioritize sleep, even though for me it's what I always take time out of to get other stuff done. But I'm doing better, because there was a stage in the school year where if I had anything to do, I would not do it during the day. I would not stay up later. I would say, I'll just get up earlier. Then I'd wake up at 4:30 after going to bed at 11:30 or 12 and literally fall asleep in every class. So don't do that to yourself. This just takes a little more effort, but it is so worth it to have your own little self-care time outside of school. The next thing that's also worth the effort is actually understand your schoolwork. This is so helpful, not only when it comes to tests, because it definitely sticks better in your brain when you understand the concept, but when it comes to other classes, you'll actually find that there's a lot of overlap in the information. For me, this year I kind of stacked my classes so that I had econ at the same time as personal business and finance and AP stats, and there was at least a little bit of overlap between all those classes, and English too actually. Plus, in each individual class, a lot of your assignments will actually build off of each other, so if you don't understand the first foundational concept, it's really hard to keep building on that for each lesson or project or whatever. I felt like an automatic switch when I started actually studying in my AP stats class. I started off always feeling lost and behind, like everybody else knew something that I didn't, and then I started actually reading the textbook and taking my own notes. A practical way of doing that is to learn how you take notes. I'm not going to get into this a ton because I did a whole video on how I take my notes, but the bottom line is find a way to take notes that sticks in your brain. Maybe you'll like to use an iPad and a stylus, or maybe you do lots of doodles, or maybe you're like me, like a highlighter and pen. No matter what, taking notes and actually physically writing it down, there's so much evidence showing that that helps you learn it so much better, and you're making it personal. It's something you can be proud of. So along with that, the next tip is to romanticize your studying. If you've never heard that term before, I like to think of it as just a way of making it your own by putting extra effort in and making it something you enjoy. For a lot of people, it means making it aesthetic. You grab a snack, go to a coffee shop, light a candle, and I love the coffee shop idea because it just makes it like a designated workspace and there are no distractions. You can put your phone on focus, and I also love setting up study dates with friends. I wish I did this more because it's a great way to grow your relationship with people but also get your work done. Also, if you have the same classes with some of your friends, it's so good to just relay the information to each other and hear it from another person. I found that it helps me learn so much better. Okay, segueing from that, something that I figured out my junior year is not to discredit class friendships. You know, like those friends that you just have in like a couple classes, they're not in like your lunch group or whatever. For me, some of the people I'm actually gonna miss the most are the people I only had one class with, because it was just the perfect amount of time to hang out and talk. There was no pressure to get to know each other. We could both be doing our work, and it was just the least awkward connection. I don't know, in those classes, I always felt like I could be fully myself, because I was never worried that they were tired of hanging out with me because we didn't hang out that much. And a lot of them we ended up meeting up after school anyways. So definitely don't limit those friendships to the class you have them in, because they can be so special. My next piece of advice is to smile and say hi to people. Learn their names, smile at them in the hall. Seriously, you don't even know how many times it just made my day for a stranger to say hi to me, especially as a freshman who didn't have a lot of friends. If you didn't know, I went to my school not knowing anybody. So just anybody giving me any attention at all was just so kind, and it was so comforting when I was in a school of strangers, and it just made me want to pay it forward. So just imagine if the entire school was just smiling and saying hi to each other. Like, how amazing would that be? Everyone would feel just so much more at ease and like welcomed into the school, and it's literally the simplest gesture. I know it can be a little bit like, oh, what if they think I'm weird or something? I'm sorry, only middle schoolers are gonna think you're weird for smiling and saying hi to somebody. That's why my next tip is, unless you're being a jerk, nobody is judging you. Do not be afraid to put yourself out there. If you do somehow fail, like how do we even describe that? Then you just have a funny story you can laugh at yourself about. Like, even if it's totally your fault, you can laugh about how awkward it was. And honestly, that's one person of so many. Don't stress at all what they think about you. And like I said before, most people are so concerned with themselves that they don't even have the headspace to judge you. So speaking of putting yourself out there, the next tip is to let FOMO win sometimes. FOMO means the fear of missing out, and I say sometimes because, I mean, when it's a battle between FOMO and some other kind of fear, like the fear of failure, you're afraid of being alone or something like that, let your FOMO drive you to go do it. I almost always regret not doing something, and I rarely ever regret going and doing something I was afraid of. I'll tell you a little story. This year, the first dance of the year, it was the welcome back dance or something. I was coming back from, was it a soccer tournament or something, and there was this dance. I'd already bought my ticket, but none of my friends were going. I got home and I was just really anxious about the dance. I was like, I
don't want to go. I'm really tired. None of my friends are going. I'm going to be dancing alone. It'll be so awkward. I don't want to just show up and leave because then I'll have wasted gas.
I told my parents I'm just not going. And then I get to school the next morning, and there's a girl that I had a class with that I was just getting to know. I really wanted to get to know her better. She said, where were you last night? I was all alone at the dance and it was so much fun. And I full on, guys, like I wanted to cry. I get the most intense FOMO ever, and I was so mad at myself that I didn't just go. I was so scared of being alone for like 2 seconds, even though we would have had so much fun. So that's actually a little too intense. Like, you shouldn't let FOMO have that much of a grip on you. But I was just so mad because I knew in my heart I should have gone, that it's like really out of character for me to not go because I was afraid of something. So I just decided never letting that happen again. We have to go to everything. So you may have to push yourself a little outside of your comfort zone to do this, but if you do, you will be so ahead of most high schoolers. Like, you will be college level with the cool kids. So with that said, it's important to challenge yourself, but not all of the time. Like I said, put yourself out of your comfort zone, and that can apply to so many things, but challenging yourself all of the time is exhausting. Trust me. Little freshman me wanted to take all of the AP and honors classes and build the absolute best resume for college.
Sophomore COVID me kind of fell off, but still.
I would have like full-on panic attacks about writing poems. Literally just writing poems. Like, why was I so upset? Then senior year, I've been challenging myself with a lot of healthy habits, but I was also trying to do so many other things at the same time, and I'd end up getting 4 hours of sleep, drink caffeine, and then fall asleep in class. Challenging yourself is so good because you can see all that you can accomplish and all that you're capable of, and it's often so much more than you realize, but also moments of just fun, like hanging out with your friends if that's recharging to you. Okay, my last and most important tip, and every time I think of this, it's like a switch goes off in my brain and just peace. It's to have the right perspective, and by this I mean an eternal perspective. So if you didn't know, I'm a Christian. I believe that Jesus came down and saved us all so that we could live in heaven with him, and he paid a price that we couldn't pay ourselves. Like, we can't get there by being a good person, we can't do certain rituals to get there. Literally, he took care of it all for us. Basically, all you have to do to get there is say thank you. So I'm looking forward to an eternity in heaven when all of this here on earth is over. But just anytime I get wrapped up in, oh, I have a test tomorrow, I'm like freaking out, I need to study, oh my gosh, my video's due, I haven't done like anything, friendship drama, like people are upset and it's really stressing me out. I just remember literally all of this is temporary. Somebody used a rope analogy where it's like this rope that goes on and on and on forever, and literally just the little, it's like little nub of the rope. That's our time on earth. The rest of this is eternity. And if you think about it, it makes sense. You'll be in heaven literally forever, but we're just on earth for what, like 100 years at the most. And even smaller frame of mind, like not even thinking about the rest of eternity. Someone told me once, if it won't matter in 5 years, don't stress about it for more than 5 minutes. So basically, it doesn't matter as much as we think it does. Keep that in mind for high school, because it can really feel like everything is happening right now. So much pressure, so much drama. Everyone's lives are so wrapped up in high school when they're at high school. But really, there's so much more ahead, there's so much more coming, and it gets so much better, I promise. Okay, that's everything for my tips. I also put on a little Instagram story a little question box to get other people's tips, whether they were recent graduates or seniors, so I just wanted to read them to you. Okay, the first one that somebody said is work hard in high school so you don't have to pay for classes in college. And on this note, I want to say AP classes are such a scam. Oh my gosh, do classes through your community college, please. I'm begging you. Boycott AP. Definitely agree with that one. Next one, someone said they learned how to manage their time. That has been the biggest thing for me too. I literally will schedule out my day to make sure I get everything done. Someone said they learned to not care what people think. They said that ruins your whole experience. People are gonna talk anyways. That's so true. Don't be scared to meet new people and branch out. Finishing homework isn't that hard if you just go somewhere other than home to do it. That is so true. Like I said, putting yourself in your little designated workspace. Because when I get home, I want to snack, I want to watch TV, I want to do anything but homework. It's important to have a genuine friend group. That is so true. Have special relationships with people who fill their space with love are. Sleep is so important and undervalued. Yes, very true. Do what I say, not what I do. It goes by so fast without even realizing it. Take all opportunities you can and have the time of your life. I'm not gonna read them all because there's a lot, but those are the ones that really stood out to me. So I really hope this helped you. If you're going into high school, good luck, you got this, and I believe in you. Like I said, just high school isn't everything. I hope this video really helped you guys. If you like this, I'd love it if you hit subscribe and stick around for more. Go have an amazing day, and remember that Jesus loves you so much. Bye guys.